For this next section, I'm going to be weathering all these edges you see here, and for this you're going to need a lot of cotton buds. So before you start, do make sure you have enough. I think you'll need around 50 to 100 for both sides. They're pretty cheap, just like £1 for a box of these, and it comes with around 200. I'm going to be using the rub and buff on a piece of paper down here. I'm not sure if you can see, but yeah, same thing, rub and buff on a piece of paper, but this time I'm just going to be using that cotton bud, and I'm just going to be doing that on the rub and buff basically. So let's get some on, very little, so that the cotton bud goes sort of into a point. As you see here, that's a bit excessive actually. I'm just gonna wipe it down. Here we go. It's gonna be a bit awkward with the camera here filming me, but let's give it a try. Anyway, so I'm gonna be putting the cotton bud on the edge. Now I do not want to touch the base, and if you're worried about that, you could put some masking tape on. And again, you're going to work your way downwards so your hand doesn't touch the rub and buff. Yeah, it's really hard with the camera here. And you see, when it starts fraying, which is after only a few strokes, you're just going to want to flip it to the other side and get some more rub and buff. Because if it's fraying, is going to touch parts that you do not want touching. So do new cotton bud every few strokes, or every few edges. That's a better way of saying that, I guess. This area is a bit easier because you just dip it in and you want the crevices to become silver. That's rather easy bit. And do turn it as you move it up and down. A bit excessive here, so just blend it in. And remember, do not brush the rub and buff off, blow it off. Otherwise you're going to smear it. And just keep on checking your hand to make sure you haven't got any rub and buff on your fingers or on your palm. And rotate the cotton bud as you stroke. The new cotton bud and some more rub and buff on the paper. And for these edges, corners, I want it rather sharp, so I've got to make sure that the cotton bud is rather fresh. Nice. See how quickly I go through these cotton buds. Even get it into the small details here. Nice thin stroke. Some nice detail there. Need a bit of a muff. Just thought that this area could overlap to the top a little bit more. Need another fresh cotton bud. Yeah, you really need a little rub and buff for this compared to how many cotton buds you need. Now to keep the same length, you see I'm using my thumb as a way to measure, a way to hold it and align it to the distance I need. Got the correct term for that. Same for here. Okay, that's pretty good. Might need another box of cotton buds actually, because I just done another buster sword before this, so I'm running out. That's very nice. Now just check if I'm missing any bits here, and I think I'm pretty good. So now I just need to do the edge, but make sure your left hand is clean before you touch and hold it. And I'm just going to do these areas: cotton bud, more silver buff. Okay, so let's do it. Oh, you see that I missed that edge. And see how I rotate the cotton bud? Obviously, because as you use up the rub and buff on that area, on the part of the cotton bud, you need to get a bit more. Okay, get more cotton, get more rub and buff. A bit of a problem here, see? So, let's see if I can get it off with... No, that's there. That might need to be for some paint. Yeah. Yeah, mistakes happen. Considering how many things you need to paint and go over, you're gonna get some. I'm just picking and choosing what I want to highlight. Yeah, that's what I'm doing, highlighting. Well, not in a way, because highlights would mean I'm adding reflections in a way, which is not what I'm doing. I'm just adding more of a wear and tear, weathering. You could call it highlights. It's so hard with the camera right there. I'm trying to be extra careful. I'm going over these details because it's a bit rough. It looks very sharp with the rub and buff. I'm just kind of blending it in a bit. Yeah, I think that's pretty much it now. Now it's just a matter of repeating it on the other side. Yeah, I'm pretty happy with that.